So here we go. Welcome back in JE Live. I am here, and wow, what a game! What a weekend of games so far. Let's just realize that, okay? Let's just take a moment and gather ourselves. Last week in the playoffs, wasn't the best. Obviously, all around the football was pretty bad. I thought. Obviously the football could have been a little bit better today, but it was, we're not talking about blowouts. This game came down to the wire. The other game came down to the wire. What a day. The Bengals and the San Francisco 49ers both came through. They beat the one seeds. The one seeds fall, both of them, in the first week of them playing. And it's the first time they've fallen since 2010. When that happened, Green Bay, actually, ironically, was the 6th seed with the help of running back James Starks, helped upset and actually blow out the Falcons, knocking them out. On top of it, the Mark Sanchez-led New York Jets defeated Tom Brady and the Patriots. So where am I going with this? The last time that we've seen two one seeds fall this early on, both one seeds fall, Tom Brady was eliminated in the divisional round of the playoffs. That is a fact. I did not make that up. 100% fact. Tom Brady has to play against the Rams tomorrow in Tampa. We've talked about it. We've previewed it. There's a lot going on. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. We have a chance. Folks, to get Rams and 49ers for the third time at SoFi Stadium. I don't remember the last time the Rams had to play two teams from their division 3 times, but they would in this circumstance. There's no more, oh, Jake, who do you want to win, the Packers, the 49ers? I just wrote it out, man. I just wrote it out. Look, I never had a dog in the fight. I wasn't going to root for the Niners. I wasn't going to root for the Packers. I just kind of sat there and was like, whatever happens. I feel like the Rams can beat either, but I'm not going to be the guy that jinxes the Rams. I'm not going to be the guy that sits there and says, you know what? I want the Rams to get revenge on the Patriots. I want them to beat the Chiefs. I'm going to root for the Patriots. Then celebrate right after the Rams go to the Super Bowl. Celebrate only for the Patriots to win and beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. So, yeah. Not doing that again. Learn my lesson. Not happening again. The only brutal thing about this game is the fact it's at 3 and not right now. Basically, this game, right now, after seeing that ending to the Niners and Packers game, the best way I can explain it, if you guys watch, Disney Plus, the Marvel shows, when there's a crazy cliffhanger at the end and you have to wait until next week. That's how I feel. I'm like, okay, we got the crazy cliffhanger. What happens next? Come on, give it to me. And you're sitting there and you're like, well, now I have to wait, So obviously you want to see that. Now, here's what I'm going to say, because this is not a preview for the Rams-Bucs. All this means is that now the Rams and Buccaneers, we knew they were going to have to play each other. That doesn't change. We knew they had to win to advance to the next round. That doesn't change. What it does change is now this is for the right to host the NFC Championship game. The right to host the NFC Championship game that would go into the Super Bowl if they won. So essentially, whoever wins this game just has to win one more game to get to the Super Bowl. And on top of it, they get to host that said game in their house. Now, we don't have to go through it. The Rams and the 49ers, we've talked about it. I had the 49ers winning this game. Close game. They won it by a field goal. I think that's literally what I predicted. Not the same score. Not going to take credit for the score. I had no idea that was going to happen. But wow. What a game. And, it was exciting. But here's the thing. The Niners and Packers, and this is what maybe it is talked about. As long as the Rams take care of business, actually, regardless if the Rams take care of business or not, but we're mainly an 85% Rams channel, so I'm going to talk from the perspective of if the Rams take care of business, like I believe they will. If the Rams take care of business, then they are going against a Niners team that just was in a hellacious back and forth brawl, essentially. We're talking about one of the most physical games I've seen, quite frankly, all season long. That game, you got to give your hats off to both teams. I understand there wasn't a lot of touchdowns. There wasn't even an offensive touchdown for the Niners, but you got to give credit to them. You know, it's actually very similar to the Titans. The only difference is the Titans, they were the number 1 seed for some reason, and the 49ers are the 6th seed. It really goes to show you why I had an issue picking against the 49ers all along. I mean, as you guys know, I'm a Rams fan. I'm not going to sit here and act like I wanted the Niners to be in this position because I like them. I was going to just flat out say it. The Niners were better than the Cowboys. They would win that. If that was a series, they would have won that series 2-3. 2 out of 3 games. Maybe if it was a 7-game series, they win 5 out of 7. Okay? Like, if you had to play 7, they'd win 5 out of 7. If it was like MLB or whatever, they would not go to a 7-game series. Basically, the Niners would win in 5 games. They would win 4-1, right? Then you have the Packers game. And the Packers game, in my opinion, that could have gone either way. So if you look at this from, obviously I had the Niners winning. Aaron Rodgers, as great as he is, hasn't figured out a way to beat the Niners in the postseason. He's 0-4. And I just looked at it like if you made this, a series, the Packers and 49ers are probably going to come down to 6 or 7 games. That is going to be a hellacious series. These two teams play a physical brand of football. I knew as soon as a guy by the name of A.J. Dillon came out of the game, the Packers were going to, lose that ground and pound edge that they had. But credit the Niners, man, because they had no business being in that game in the first quarter, in the first half. And essentially, I watched the same game I watched with the Rams. I mean, better scoring, of course. But I feel like the Rams in the first half really dominated the 49ers. And then in the second half, the Niners came out to play. Despite the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo is incredibly limited, and I can't stress that enough, Jimmy Garoppolo is so limited, I don't want to hear it anymore. On 3rd and 7, with the potential to go down the field and win the game or punt, Kyle Shanahan trusted on 3rd and 7 Jimmy Garoppolo to hand the ball off to Deebo Samuel. And I would have done the same thing. I'm not blaming Kyle Shanahan. Actually, I will, because I think Kyle Shanahan had some poor play calls down the stretch. Should have gone for the QB sneak on 4th and 1. Either way, the special teams unit gets it done. They get a touchdown. I think what it really comes down to is this. As long as the Rams take care of business against Tampa Bay, as long as they do that, you're basically, as a 49ers fan, banking on the Niners winning not once, not twice, 3 times this season against the Rams. The Cardinals couldn't win twice against the Rams. They lost 2 out of 3. But you're banking on the Niners, and don't get me wrong, the Niners deserve all the praise. They have absolutely dominated the Rams. They've won 6 straight. I get it. But you are banking on the Niners coming off this hellacious battle. We see Deebo Samuel limping, can barely put weight on his foot after that play. We see Trent Williams limping. I mean, this was a physical matchup, and I'm not one to overrate physicality, but holy hell, these two were banging down low. It was like in the paint. It was like, honestly, like watching Joel Embiid versus Nikola Jokic. I mean, they were banging down low. It was not pretty. But that's good. That's good football. And especially when you're, you don't have a dog in the fight. So the Niners now, if the Rams were to take care of business, which keep in mind, it's like a parlay, Oh, I got Derrick Henry to go over 50 yards or whatever I needed to, oh, I got Joe Mixon. Okay. Well, now you need this team to win. And if this team doesn't win, your parlay goes to shit. So now the Rams have to hold up their end of the bargain with the parlay. The table's been set. Niners fans want this as much as Rams fans do, I'm pretty sure. Niners fans probably want the Rams way more than they want to go up against Tom Brady. And here's my thing, okay? I don't think the Rams are thinking ahead. I think we as fans are preparing ourselves in case if as long as they take care of business. And what we've seen with the Rams is when they play their game, no one can beat them. Nobody has beaten the Rams when they've played their best game. Nobody. When the Rams don't turn the ball over, they don't lose. When the Rams play their brand of football, they don't lose. When they have to play catch-up, they'll lose. When they have to play other team style of football, they'll lose. But now this is the third crack at the San Francisco 49ers if, and only if, you beat Tampa Bay. It's not looking ahead. You know, it's really not. Think about this. You plan for your retirement, right? Is that looking ahead? Yeah, sure. But it's necessary. It's necessary as fans. It's necessary as me. It would be honestly the most irresponsible thing as a content creator and somebody that covers the Rams to not talk about the possibility of Rams 49ers Part 3. It would just be irresponsible. I have to be here. I don't care that it's midnight on the East Coast. I'll stream until the sun comes up. I don't care. It is irresponsible for me to not talk about this because this is a storyline heading into this game. And it is irresponsible. It's just as irresponsible as the Rams to look ahead and say we're playing the 49ers. It's one thing to have confidence. You don't want to overlook an opponent. You don't want to overlook an opponent that has a quarterback that's won 7 Super Bowls and knows how to get it done in the postseason. But I'm just saying, when it comes to this, when push comes to shove, you know, the Rams take care of business. If they do that, we're getting Niners and we're getting Rams, and everything to this point, the 6 straight wins, you know, none of that matters. When you get to the point of going to the Super Bowl, you get to the point of the idea, it's very simple. You go to the locker room, Sean McVay goes up to Aaron Donald, or any of them, right? He says, hey, Aaron, how pissed does it make you if we lose this week, the Niners get to stay in our house and kick us out? Because this is where the Super Bowl will be. How pissed would that make you? Because that would make me pretty pissed if I was a player. So this is the thing, okay? If the Rams take care of business against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, then they're going to get the 49ers for the third time. And we just watched a hellacious battle, a lot of physicality. I don't think the Niners are going to be 100%. And nobody is 100% at this point in the year. Nobody. And, you know, I'm hearing a lot of, well, the Bucs are banged up. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The Rams are as banged up as the Buccaneers, if not more banged up. Because, you know, you say you're losing Ronald Jones, I'll give you Darrell Henderson. You say you don't have Chris Godwin, I'll say, you know what, we don't have Robert Woods. You say, well, Antonio Brown left, I'll say, well, so did Deshaun Jackson, who actually dropped 120 yards on you. Okay. Well, all your tight ends are there, but I'll say, well, Johnny Munt has been gone. Okay, there's that. You say, well, you know, we have 2 offensive linemen that may or may not play, but they're likely to play, but they might not be 100%. Okay, Andrew Whitworth is not going to play. You say your defense, all of that, whatever. You didn't have your defense the last time you played against the Rams. Now you have your defense potentially fully healthy for the first time all season long, whereas the Rams are missing Taylor Rapp, Ernest Jones, Sebastian Joseph Day, and Jordan Fuller. Don't you dare for a second buy into that media hogwash that is another excuse for Tom Brady. The Buccaneers are not more banged up than the Rams. And here's the thing, and this is why I don't care, is that they have played through this adversity before. We talked about it against the Cardinals. Monday Night Football. Cardinals are as good a team as could be out there. And people are talking about them in the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl. And the Rams did not have Jalen Ramsey or Tyler Higbee. Do you realize how important those two have been down the stretch of this season? They've been very important. The Rams have learned to win without guys. Now, if Stafford goes down, then you panic. But they have learned to win without Cam Akers. They have learned to win without Robert Woods. They have learned to win without Higbee, Darius Williams, Jalen Ramsey, Jordan Fuller, Taylor Rapp, Ernest Jones. The list freaking goes on. One thing that they have not learned to do is live without their quarterback, because we have not seen them without Matthew Stafford. And number two, they have not learned to win without Aaron Donald. Because last year, against the Green Bay Packers, we saw a team that competed with nine-finger Jared Goff. We saw a team that could establish the run with Cam Akers. We saw a team that got Van Jefferson, a guy who I was very excited about, second-round rookie, who had a great role, it looked like, early on in the year, who they basically forgot about and pushed away. He started to emerge back into a bigger role and stepped up in the postseason. We saw them without Cooper Kupp. Okay? And guess what? The big thing about that game is they did not have Aaron Donald fully healthy. That changed the course of the game. The Rams have Aaron Donald, the Rams have Jalen Ramsey, the Rams have Matthew Stafford, and the Rams have Cooper Kupp, and those are their big four. So unless one of those guys goes down, I'm not panicking. Okay? I'm not. And I've heard Buccaneers fans, well, OBJ, what about OBJ? OBJ replaces Robert Woods. I mean, OBJ replaces Deshaun Jackson. Whatever you want to say OBJ replaces, the point is the Bucs aren't as banged up as the Rams. It is a Freddy sweater. You are right about that. Love my Freddy Krueger sweater. I've worn it a few times. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but yeah, it is a Freddy sweater. So, I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it. You know, I'm hearing the whole, the Bucs are banged. They're not as banged up as the Rams. I mean, come on, stop. Do your homework. I'm guilty of this. I went back and I watched some of that because, I always, I broadcast my old streams now. And I went back and, I'll stop in, see if anybody's talking, try to talk with them. And I saw on my stream, this bozo's talking and buying into that stupid media narrative and not putting in enough information, not putting in enough context, not doing the homework that I constantly preach that I do. And this bozo right here is telling you guys to your face what I tell you guys not to do. Is buy into the BS media narrative. And this is what I was doing. I literally bought into it. I'm like, well, the Bucs are banged up. No. Both teams are banged up, and the Bucs are not as banged up as the Rams. So, push that aside. If the Rams win, that is not why they're going to win. The Rams are the better team. They beat them 1v1 earlier in the year. Matthew Stafford outplayed Tom Brady. They did not have Darrell Henderson in that game. They didn't have Cam Akers. I think no one knows how to defend Cam Akers right now. No one. No one. So that's going to be an interesting thing, okay? But I look at this game, the Packers and 49ers game, and I saw so many things the Rams can exploit with the Niners. The Niners are getting more banged up. The Niners have Tom Compton at right tackle. They're going to figure out a way to overload that side. He is the weak link. I've been saying that. They don't have Mike McGlinchey. I don't care how well Tom Compton did on PFF. I'm telling you right now, I watched Tom Compton. He is struggling. He is absolutely struggling. Jimmy Garoppolo was pressured all game. Jimmy Garoppolo is making those weird, wobbly lollipop throws into the flat. Those are getting picked. I mean, I can't tell you how many of those, and with all due respect to the Niners fans, I'm not trying to say you guys don't deserve it, but I'm just breaking it down. I watched every play. And I'll tell you right now, Jimmy Garoppolo threw some lollipops into the flat that are getting picked off by any Rams defender that's on that team right now. They are playing at a level and an intensity that I have not seen from them all season long. They're going into this game the right way. As long as they take care of business, this is going to continue to evolve. And I really think, I know people are worried about, well, Raheem Morris, he had that, don't tell me it's deja vu again, because he had his interview. And we all know Brandon Staley had his interview and the infamous interview and everything before the game. Brandon Staley did not mail that game in. Brandon Staley, we just found out, honestly, was so tied to the success and the dominance of Aaron Donald. We did not give that enough credit. We still do not get how important Aaron Donald is to this team. We don't appreciate it. We don't get it. I don't think we ever will because we don't realize. I don't even think the Packers game explained it that well because he still played. But here's the thing, okay? The point is, the Rams defense is playing very good right now. The offense is nowhere near where it can be, and they're going to beat teams that they play the way they did against Arizona, which to me is about 75% out of 100 of where they can be. 100 being the maximum, 75%, they weren't even close, in my opinion, to being how good they can be. So that's the thing, okay? As long as they take care of business against the Bucs, I feel very good about the 49ers game. I don't think that the 49ers are going to beat them a third time. Call me crazy, okay? And I think the Rams are going to beat the Bucs, okay? This isn't me saying, oh, I hope they do, but I doubt it. This is me saying I think there's a really good chance. There is a really, really, really good chance that the Rams are heading to the Super Bowl like I predicted before the season started, and I never like to do. There's a really good chance. But they're going to be playing two really good teams. The Buccaneers are a really good team, and they're as healthy as can be on the defensive side right now. And if they beat them, they're going to be playing a really good Niners team that got hot at the right time, and that's that. Okay? So, how do you beat the Bucs, and how do you beat the Niners? Well, with the Buccaneers, you have to know that there's going to be a lot of dinking and dunking. It's why basically, I'll tell you right now. Like, if you are a betting man, bet on Tom Brady's over for completions. Because he's going to just dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk over and over again. Whether it's Cameron Brate, whether it's O.J. Howard, whether it's Rob Gronkowski, whether it's Mike Evans, the Rams are going to keep everything in front of them. They're going to run that bend, don't break. Okay? That's what they're going to do. Then when they get them off the field, the Rams are going to want to establish the run with Cam Akers. Yeah, I understand. Okay, the Bucs defense does a really nice job at stopping the run. You have guys like Sue and JPP will be back. And you have, of course, Vita Vea in the middle. I know. But you can't just not run the football, okay? You got to keep it honest. The Rams are predicated on the play-action passing attack. You have to be able to run the football. You have to keep a defense honest. You have to tell me, hey, I'm going to run the football, and you're going to have to sell out to stop this play action. You're going to bite on this because I do run the football. If you never do something and you fake that you're going to do it, teams are going to be like, this dude... Really? This dude thinks I'm that stupid? So that's that. The Rams are going to have to try to establish the run. They will. I really do. I think they will try to establish the run, and I think they will run the football. Will they run it that well? I don't know. I can't decide that. That defensive line is ferocious. They could do well. What I will say is that the Eagles had a decent time running the football. They just got behind early, and it kind of low-key put it under the wraps. So that's what I'll say about that. To stop what I'm saying real quick, I did notice I got some super chats, and I don't want to let's see. I don't want to ignore them. I just noticed it. I saw a comment that said I got them. So let me check those out real quick. If it shows me. I love how viewer activity isn't showing me. It's supposed to show me super chats, but it's not. Okay. Let's see here. Super chat. Any way to filter this? Man, this is lame. Okay, let's see if I can find it. I'm sorry. Anyone that donated to me, I really do appreciate that. I'm going to find it. Okay. All right, here we go. Do you think a Niners... Okay, Sharbanks, sorry about that. Do you think a Niners versus Rams NFC Championship would be hotter than the Super Bowl? No, I don't. As hot as that would be, I just don't think it would be hotter than the potential of, seeing, Matthew Stafford and the Rams going up against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Or Matthew Stafford and the Rams going against Josh Allen and the Bills. Or Matthew Stafford and the Rams going against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Because right now... I'd hate for the Rams to play the Bengals. First off, I kind of want to root for the Bengals. Obviously, I'd never do it against the Rams. Secondly, the Rams would be like public enemy number one. Everyone would want to side with the underdog, in Joe Burrow and the Bengals. So, I would probably say right now Rams and Chiefs seems like a good bet. But I think it's whoever, wins that Bills-Chiefs game. I think we've all kind of known that. If the Bengals make the Super Bowl, man, all the credit in the world to them. Kind of feel like if it's... to me, if it's Rams and 49ers and the Rams lose, then I think the Bengals are going to end up winning as well. I think it's going to be Bengals-Niners if the Rams lose, but I don't think the Rams are going to lose. So there's that. But good question there. And then RV Hopper, I was hoping you would go live tonight. Appreciate you donating. Yeah, I did decide to go live. Please make sure to go hit that like button. We're at over 200 people, and it is literally past midnight, so appreciate you guys. And be sure to hit the like button. We'll try to get to 200, but I'll take over 100. That would be really nice. Nice starting spot. Man, it says it in the thumbnail. In order for the Rams to get to there, which is SoFi Stadium, they have to go through Tom Brady. And, I mean, I'll be honest. It is a little overwhelming, right? I mean, it's, Tom Brady's great. I've never, disagreed with that. I've never said Tom Brady isn't great. I've never acted like they're not a good football team. I've said basically whoever wins the NFC is winning the Super Bowl. I mean, and I believe that. The 49ers just showed you. They're the Titans, but they actually finished the job. The Titans and Niners, the things that they do, they make you play ugly, man. They make you play ugly. And you're sitting there with your friends, and you're gathered around, maybe drinking a White Claw like I am right now. And you're like, how the hell? Like, you have that moment where maybe you're looking at your bets and like, and you're like, how the hell is this game close? That's their game. The Niners dictate the tempo. The Titans dictate the tempo. And the Titans lost. So they're out. But the Niners do that a lot. And I'll tell you right now, and this is what I said on a show the other day. If you think for a second that when Jimmy Garoppolo leaves, this Niners team's going to fall off a cliff, you are absolutely wrong, my friend. I would actually go further as to say I think Trey Lance is going to be Patrick Mahomes-esque when he does take over the starting role. There's a lot of weapons there. We saw what Debo can do. We saw what Kittle can do. We know what Brandon Ayuk can do. The running back, Eli Mitchell. Offensive line is great. Defense is ferocious. I mean, you got to give DeMeco Ryans credit. He's done a great job with that defense. It went from, I don't know how they're going to do it. Robert Saleh's gone. To now all of a sudden, what is that? So, I don't think, I don't think people are getting it. But, again, they won. Congrats to the Niners. They deserve it. They stayed in that game the whole time. They made it ugly. No one believed in them. I believed in them. I had them winning. But people didn't believe in them. People did. And to be honest, they just had to go into an environment where it is incredibly difficult to win. And furthermore, it wasn't cold. It was even more than cold because then it started to snow. It was like heavy snow at the end of the game. That is ridiculous to play in that condition. And they were down, man. They were down. What was it, 10-3? Rodgers had the ball. It was like 4 minutes to go. They were down and out, and they came back and won without scoring an offensive touchdown. I'll tell you. It's sometimes the, we've seen it before. Sometimes the stories write themselves, right? Rams had an opportunity to get revenge on the Patriots 20 years after they lost in the Super Bowl to the Patriots. It started their dynasty with Tom Brady. We never would have heard of Tom Brady if they lost that Super Bowl. But Tom Brady and everything, right? And then they lost. So we're great at writing stories, apparently, football gods, but man, we're not very good at finishing them, are we? I mean, it's not very poetic to have a team get an opportunity at revenge 20 years later against the same quarterback and head coach and to have a nightmare ending like that and have the team that's getting the revenge lose again. That doesn't seem very poetic. Like, who clearly Kevin Feige is not writing the stories with the football gods, right? So that does actually somewhat concern me. That does concern me. It's not like Kevin Feige is writing the story. If he was, he'd be like, oh, Rams 49ers. 49ers have won 6 straight times. Rams play the Niners. Oh, well, I'll just have the Rams win. There's the happy ending that everyone's looking. There you go, Disney. There you go. But no, he's not writing it. So we don't know how it's going to go. But I can tell you right now, I think the Rams are the best team. They've been the best team all year. They went through a bad losing streak, and I think people looked at it and gave up on them. They looked at the last game of the year, and I think in a way that energized not only the 49ers, but it energized the Rams, because the Rams lose that game. It's a wake-up call, and they don't have to win 9 straight. They just lost in their building. Now they're pissed, and they came out and they looked pissed against the Cardinals. At the same time, with the Niners, they win that game. They're in the playoffs now. Screw the Saints. They won. They got in over the Saints. They're in the playoffs now. They're the 6th seed. So instead of having to play Tampa initially, they get to play Dallas, who really nobody in the NFC West should respect, because everybody in the NFC West would have kicked the crap out of Dallas if it were on the road. Dallas doesn't play well on the road, period, and that wouldn't have been close. Anyway, so then you fast forward past this game, and now you're like, okay, all right, the Niners are clicking at the right time. It was one of those things, like, I was, watching it with my family, and my father goes, is this one of those games, early on, 7-0, Packers leading, or 10-0, whatever. Is this one of those games where you can say, you know what? We overestimated the Niners. Like, it's nice. They beat the Cowboys, but this seems like a game where they're just going to get throttled. And they did. They looked like, this looked like a game where they were absolutely going to get throttled. And for whatever reason, the Packers could not do much of anything. They started off the game hot, and then all of a sudden we're looking in the second half, and we're like, well, the Niners are still in this game. And I mean, hey, credit to everybody. I mean, obviously it's a 53-man sport, and I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, I felt like really limited them, but at the end of the day, he quarterbacked them to a win. Packers did blow it. Now, I do see a lot of people hating on Rodgers, and I do get it. Obviously, they scored more points. It doesn't matter, but I will say it's not like Rodgers didn't allow a improbable blocked punt, It's not like he threw a game-losing interception. So I'll say that, But, let's see. What was I going to do? I saw Coach earlier. I see Nolan in here. Hope everyone's having a good time. Let's get those likes up. We're over 250 people in here. Let's see if we can get over 200. Would really appreciate it. It's just a thumbs up on the YouTube channel. On other platforms as well, you can also like it, I believe. And I don't know how Twitch works. I have never figured out Twitch, but the Lone Wolf over there, appreciate you supporting my Twitch channel. Maybe someday I'll get that thing going, and it'll actually be good. Right now, I have no idea how to run Twitch. I'm just not even going to hide the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing there. So, Jake, great call on this win. You are the man. How about saying next week for my? How about saying that again next week for my health? Almost a 3rd heart attack in 3 weeks. Yeah, it's. I can't imagine that type of game. I'm hoping that is not a game that the Rams have to go up against, like, the Bucs in that type of, like, oh man, losing on a block punt would absolutely rip my heart out. So I'm hoping that is not going to happen. I really can't have that. But like I said, I feel good about the Rams. I feel good that they're going to win. I have 31-20. I think they'll get to Tom Brady. They'll pressure him, and they'll keep everything in front of them. They'll get those tackles. They'll make sure they get the tackles. If they are missing tackles and things like that, that's going to be an issue. They're top 10 in tackle efficiency according to PFF, and Tampa is 28th in tackle efficiency. So I think guys like Cooper Kupp could emerge. Odell Beckham Jr. breaks the tackle. Cam Akers could have a good day. Whereas you look at Tampa, who's struggled with, because Tampa struggled with tackling, those guys could have a good day. But if the Rams struggle, then you could be looking at guys like, Gronkowski's hard enough to bring down. So I think you're really going to need Travon Howard to step up to the plate. And Travon Howard's going to have to step up and really, make an impact. Sideline to sideline guy that can, make tackles in space, that can defend. He's probably going to have to cover guys like Leonard Fournette. You might have to cover Gronk. He is athletic enough to do it as a former safety at TCU. But then on top of it, he's the unsung hero. I said that on another show at Nuts and Bolts Sports. But here's the thing, okay? There's another unsung hero that obviously Rams fans know. but other fans that are watching tomorrow may not. And that is Greg Gaines. And to me, Greg Gaines is the key. Because what we saw against Joe Burrow, the reason they got 9 sacks on Joe Burrow is they got pressure up the middle. What we saw against Jimmy Garoppolo and Aaron Rodgers, when they got pressure, it was up the middle. Up the middle pressure, interior pressure, is the way to go. Edge defenders come around, they go for the big time, the big play, the strip sack, right? Obviously, that's there. But if you get a Greg Gaines or an Aaron Donald or an A'Shawn Robinson or even Marquise Copeland comes through in the clutch, like he did last week with the interception, which was freaking awesome. If those guys are coming through at Brady, right up the middle, Brady can't step up. Brady is a statue in the pocket. He's not going to be able to move all over the place, and you really limit his ability to move around in the pocket. His surface area, it's just gone. So that's a thing that needs to be talked about, is as long as they get some interior pressure, and with, Ryan Jensen, regardless if he plays or not, I am not guaranteeing he is 100% healthy, going into that game. I truly don't think he will be. But that's my thing. So if he's not 100% healthy, more the merrier for Greg Gaines, who's been playing well against guys that are healthy. Greg Gaines has stepped up in a way that the Rams could never have seen coming, except they absolutely could have, because when they drafted him as the 4th-round pick, he was somebody that was top 5 in pass rushing efficiency from the interior defensive line position in college, on the same level as Quinnen Williams, who went in the 1st round. Greg Gaines has always been this good, and, you mentioning it, Chantry, I see it with the Vita Vea. They're both Washington guys. Both guys have a chance to really make their presence felt in this one. Same goes for Stafford, by the way. If Vita Vea is able, if Jason Pierre-Paul, and Ndamukong Suh, if those guys are able to attack the interior, we've seen Stafford, when he doesn't have a pocket to step up into, it's trouble. And so, I think this could go both sides. But like I said, I feel like the Rams are going to win. I feel good about it. And, I'm thinking that this could be a game where the Rams, once again, they make a statement. This could be a playoff, a playoff round or a playoff road where the Rams just go around and they're just done. They're done with the close games. They're just done. And if the Rams come out and punch Brady in the mouth and it really looks like it's not going to be close, then they're on that level, and I don't know if anybody's stopping them. If anybody watches Dragon Ball Super, the end of Dragon Ball Super with the world tournament or anything like that, if the tournament of whatever, I'm forgetting, but sorry about that. But if anyone watches Dragon Ball Super, think of it when Goku goes super, Ultra Instinct. That's what the Rams will go to. If the Rams come out and blow out the Buccaneers, I don't think the 49ers have a chance in hell of hanging with this team, because that means that they awoke a beast that no one has seen yet. And to me, I don't think anybody at that point is beating them. So I really do think that this is the game where if the Rams come out and they just dominate the Tampa on the road, I'm going to have a hard time picking against them, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm done with close games. I know everyone is going to want a close game, and I'm done with them. I mean, I understand the Super Bowl, but I'm done with the close games. Let's keep it to a minimum with the close games. Done with them. We're almost at 100 likes. Let's see if we can get to 200 again. Give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying me yelling at you. Bro, it's literally the perfect story to beat Tampa and remove doubt and then have to take down your rival for the title shot. Damn. It is. Absolutely is. I mean... Yeah, I'm just being honest, guys. Who the hell wants a close game? I don't want a close game. Anyone that tells you, any fan that tells you that they want their team to be in a close game is lying through their teeth. There's no way. No way. No one wants a close game. No one. My chest can't take another close game. Yeah, I feel bad for Tom, man. That is brutal. I I think it's brutal for the Packers fans. This might be the last time Rodgers puts on a Packers uniform, and it did not end well. You know, I do. Yeah, I guess Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild if he's going to continue playing. That doesn't sound to me like he's leaving Green Bay necessarily, but he definitely could. Yeah, I don't want a one-possession game. No way. I don't. Done with the close games. Blow them all out. 85 Bears it. Let's go. I don't care if it's a Super Bowl. I don't care if it's preseason. I don't care if it's the regular season. If my team has any sort of shot at losing, I don't want a close game. Like, I don't. Sorry. All right, maybe preseason is stretching it, but you get my point. And if we, by the way, thank you so much for donating, Mark. And if we can win in Tampa, we get Whitworth, Rapp, Hendo, Ernest, and Henderson. Don't forget about SJD for the NCAA championship. I almost said that. NFC championship game. Yes, go subscribe to Ram House TV. My guys over there. Go hit that up. I mean, he's right. You know, that's the sad thing is that when this, your season comes to an end, it's no longer sunshine and rainbows. It's like when you're flying, you're a bird, and then you slam into a window or you slam into an oncoming, giant tractor trailer. Life just hits you head on. Everything is nice. I can fly. Oh my God, it's beautiful. There's so much bliss in the air. And then you hit that tractor trailer and you're like, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the best way I can explain that, because during the regular season and the playoffs, your eyes are on the prize. Until you are eliminated, it's not the end of the year. And then you go to the playoffs, and the playoffs continue, and you're winning, and you're feeling good. Your eyes on the prize. The eyes are on the Lombardi. And you're looking at the Lombardi like, all right, we're going to win the Super Bowl. As soon as you lose, everybody is, well, I got to talk to my agent, or my agent's going to have to figure that out, or we got a lot of stuff to do this offseason, or I don't know if I'll be back. It's up to the, come on. It's all negotiational purposes, and unfortunately, we've seen it. When the Rams lost the Super Bowl, the only way, you can't even guarantee they come back when they win. But if your team, and only one team season ends on a W, a true W. I'm not talking about, we won week 18, but we went 4 and whatever. No. Only one team truly wins the season. The one that's holding the Lombardi. If you're not that team that won the Super Bowl, then you are looking at next year. And sometimes teams have good outlooks. But, I mean, the internal discussions come up. Is Kirk Cousins good enough for us to win a Super Bowl in Minnesota, regardless of coach, regardless of defense? Is he good enough? Now, all of a sudden, these internal discussions are had. Cleveland with Baker Mayfield. I mean, that discussion should already have been had. I think they should move on from him, but that's just me. What about, the Steelers? They were on borrowed time. With Ben Roethlisberger. Keith Butler just retired, the defensive coordinator. Kevin Colbert, the GM, he was retiring. That's how you have to look at it. Is that, a lot of these teams have to face the music. So when you're the Packers and you lose that game, you had all those fans in attendance. That was a home field advantage. And you had to have felt good with 4 minutes to go. You're up and you lose the game. You're maybe not seeing Rodgers next year. You may not see, Adams. We don't know how it's going to go. We have no idea. And that's the scariest part about losing, is that you just don't know. I remember we were sitting here. I was in the office, but after the Rams-Packers game, the Rams lost 32-18, I want to say. I think was the score. Could be wrong. You guys let me know. I believe it was 32-18, though. I went like live for the third time in the history of the channel. That's funny to say because I only go live now. But, we're talking last year. Or, yeah, it is last year. Okay, yeah. Last year around this time, the Rams lost to the Packers. They lost 32-18, and I sat here and I told you guys this sucks and I hate it, and I honestly didn't think that they were going to win a Super Bowl anyway because I felt like they were good enough, but I felt like Goff held them back. I felt like they got hurt at the wrong time. They didn't have Cooper Kupp. They didn't have Aaron Donald at 100%, but I was like, I feel like good things are coming. I feel like eventually they're going to get this thing figured out. I felt like the Dolphins game, the glass shattered in McVay's head. That it was that moment where he realized we're not winning a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. And we're talking about this, and people are asking me, well, who is going to be the quarterback next year? And I'm like, well, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't hate Wolford and Goff battling each other for the job and maybe going out and drafting a quarterback. But I also, then we talked about it, and then you guys were like, hey, can you keep doing these live streams? That's how the live streams and JE Live came together. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing live streams every night, and the Rams, that was that. They were facing the music. They lost. Dude, they lost to the Packers. And I swear to God, they turned around and were like, all right, Matthew Stafford, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, everybody they were after. They were talking about getting anybody and everybody at quarterback. So we had a lot of content to talk about last January. And when push came to shove, when we were talking about the Senior Bowl, I had Blaine Grisack on. We got the word that Matthew Stafford had become an LA Ram. And the reason I tell you guys this story is because I actually myself went back and watched those live streams. First off, I think I'm a lot better as a speaker now. I can talk in front of a camera a lot better. That time I didn't have a lot of experience, and the following was great. So the following, it's not knocking the following. But for me, I feel like I've improved. And that's not why I'm bringing it up. I'm just saying, kind of trying to pat myself on the back there. But no, for real. I watched that because I wanted to see where we were at. And I remember we're talking, and we're just over and over again. People are bringing up, the Rodgers controversy. He could come back to L.A. and things are not going right with the, and then you talk about Russell Wilson. It's like, the Seahawks are potentially going to fall off the cliff, and the Rams could get this guy. And then, Deshaun Watson comes into play. And I did that one video, where don't be surprised if Les Snead works his magic and gets Deshaun Watson. And that went through the roof, especially because, let's be honest here, my thumbnail skills were pretty bad back in the day. But the thumbnail did have Deshaun Watson photoshopped into a Rams uniform, and it did generate attention. So, at that point, we're talking about Deshaun Watson. And then it came down to Deshaun Watson, or after a new report came out, I believe it was Tom Pelissero, or it was I forget the other guy's name. But anyway, it was one of them. One of them reported that Matthew Stafford was eyeing the Rams as a destination. And when that happened, we went live. I remember it was late at night. We went live in my studio, and we were like, you know what? Matthew Stafford, Deshaun Watson. I think you do Deshaun Watson if you can handle it. And I stupidly, and I love Stafford, okay? I've wanted him for 5 years. But I stupidly suggested Gardner Minshew. And I don't want to say stupidly because I feel like Gardner Minshew with, Sean McVay would have helped, would have been cheap. But I do remember, we're going through these different options, and I thought Gardner Minshew had the best value, which I guess I'm not really wrong in a sense because if you can win with Minshew, you're not trading much for him. He doesn't cost much. But I didn't realize how realistic Stafford and Deshaun were. I kept telling people, this is somewhat realistic, but I was like, I don't know how realistic this is. Not long after that, Jared Goff and John Wolford will battle it out. And then Steve Weish, friend of the show, my buddy Steve, he comes out and reports that Sean McVay and Jared Goff reportedly need marriage counseling. Otherwise, it's not going to be pretty. And at that point, I put out a video. It was literally the thumbnail had them both kind of yelling at each other and said "Trouble in Paradise." We were talking about that. Then the next day, I put kind of an ode to, if you guys remember, the Combine, the very infamous Combine quote from Les Snead, "You don't delete Sam Bradford." He then went on to delete Sam Bradford. I put in the comment thing, I said, the title, I was like, Les Snead, will Les Snead delete Jared Goff? Or is Les Snead going to delete Jared Goff? Or I think Les Snead will delete Jared Goff. I think it was something like that. And not long after that, and I mean not long after that, to the point where we're about a week or two after the Super Bowl hasn't happened yet, and we get word that the Rams have gone out and have acquired Matthew Stafford for 2 first-rounders, a second-rounder, Jared Goff, and maybe another pick that I'm forgetting, nor do I care. But anyway, they acquire Matthew Stafford. And what did I say immediately? Well, I'll tell you right now. The next day, I go to the office, and I put out a live stream. And the cover of the live stream had Matthew Stafford photoshopped in a Rams uniform and everyone around him, all the weapons. And it said something along the lines of, the Rams, Sean McVay's offense is back. Remember when I said that? Now, did they average 30 points per game? No. But is 27 a hell of a lot better than whatever they had last year? What, 22? Yes. And here they are. They win against Tampa. Keep in mind, they still have to win. But if they win against Tampa, they have now passed where they were last year. I mean, the move has already been proven right. You doubled your touchdown production. He has still +2 as far as touchdown to interception and fumble efficiency rating, which is more than Jared Goff. And, I mean, he's just been incredible. Honestly, he's had his interceptions. He's gone through a little bit of a rut, but he has been the right move. If the Rams beat the Bucs, then that means they move on to the NFC Championship game. They have a chance. They now host the NFC Championship game. They're 1 win away from the Super Bowl. And all that time, you and I talked night in and night out, and it was freaking awesome. So I appreciate you guys for being there for me, for supporting the channel, for pushing it up to new heights. It could not have happened without you guys. And honestly, you guys pushed me for the live shows. But we sat there and we talked it out, okay? It was not easy. This is what every content creator is going to have to do that's talking about a team that's not in the playoffs. The Rams right now are, and we talked about it last year, right around this time. And we said it was going to get fixed. We believe that. A lot of people were for Goff, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. The people that were not for Goff, the people that really believed in Stafford, when they made the trade, I saw there were a lot of people, there's mixed reactions, because there's a lot of people that do like Jared Goff, which I understand. He's the first quarterback. He starting quarterback in LA, obviously, was Case Keenum, but really he was the franchise quarterback. He was the guy you watched at Cal. He was the guy you were comfortable with on the West Coast. I get it. Super Bowl connection, all of it, including the very important Monday Night Football game against the Chiefs. That means more to members of California than people realize, because that was happening right around the California fires. There was a chance that game was actually going to be played, surprisingly, as Stadio Azteca. I might have pronounced that wrong, but that was the Mexico game. And it ended up going to LA. It was initially a home game. Chiefs fans complained that, it went to LA. It was a home game anyway. LA was sacrificing their home game to play in Mexico. So that's besides the point. But guys. Tomorrow, we're either going to be very happy or very disappointed. But I promise you, no matter what happens, I will continue to put out content. I'll continue to be very motivated about this team moving forward. I think this team is set up for success regardless of tomorrow's outcome. I am aware that the Rams could lose, although I feel very confident that they are going to win. But I am aware that they could lose. I promise I won't be cowering away if they do. I will get on here and I will talk it out with all of you guys just like I did last year, because that's what I do. When the Rams lose, and any time a team loses, if you don't have the balls to get on camera in front of a mic and talk to your fans that led you to this point, then you don't have what it takes to be in content creation, period. And so that is going to be the case. Regardless, win or lose, I will be here. We will have the post game. I will be talking you off the proverbial cliff. Better be proverbial. Don't you dare do that, by the way. But my point is that regardless, I feel good about the future. The Rams made the right decision on Matthew Stafford. I feel so bad for Tom. Honestly, it does break my heart. It is in the back of my mind the whole time. But the Packers did break our hearts last year. Don't you forget about it. You were that Tom. It didn't happen the same way. They lost 32-18. But you watched Aaron Donald cry his eyes out on the sideline. And you watched as people said it wasn't a big deal. It didn't matter if Cooper Kupp played or not. Same thing with the Super Bowl. Anytime you bring up the Super Bowl, can you imagine if Cooper Kupp played in that game? And Patriots fans will quickly be like, oh, well, it wouldn't have mattered if Cooper Kupp was there because Tom Brady was there. Well, now I think we all realize how important Cooper Kupp is. So, yes, he would have made an impact in the Rams game against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. He would have made an impact in all of those playoff games. The Dallas game that they won anyway. The Saints game that they won anyway. He would have made an impact in the Seattle game. Actually, I think he played the Seattle game. He was out for the Packers game. He would have made an impact in the Packers game. No doubt. And they did not have him. So he is going to be in the lineup. He will be playing his first ever divisional round football game in his career. The Rams are going to be happy to have him. So that is something that we are all going to have to hope works out in the Rams' favor. Like I said, feel good about them. 31-20 is how I have it. I feel as though, the Rams are the better team. I feel as though they have the MVP of the league in Cooper Kupp. They have the best defensive player in the league in Aaron Donald. They have one of the best quarterbacks and most underrated quarterback in the playoffs because, as it was proven, Matthew Stafford is not as scary to root for, to watch, and to rely on as Ryan Tannehill. And anybody that thought that was out of their gourd. So we're going to see tomorrow, folks. We are going to see tomorrow. Rams, Buccaneers. Sean McVay gets another crack at Tom Brady in the postseason. 0-1 against Tom Brady in the postseason. 2-0 in the regular season. Tom Brady is 5-6 against teams that have already beat him in the regular season. All of those get pushed aside. Does not matter that the Rams are undefeated against the Patriots in all bone-on-bone uniforms. Does not matter. Does not matter what uniforms they come out in as long as it's not all blue, which it won't be. It'll be blue and yellow. And the Rams will continue to do what they do. They'll either play their game and they'll win, or they'll play their game and they'll lose. And they'll be, the way they play will be dictated on the Bucs. If they allow that, then they'll lose. But I'm feeling good about this. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling good about this one. I wouldn't be saying that if I didn't. Something feels different, man. I say it a lot. I don't necessarily truly believe in superstition, but it's not even about superstition. Like I said, they're the best team in the league, and if they play their game, they're going to win the Super Bowl. If they play their game, they will win the Super Bowl. All of these stats, the Patriots this, Patriots that, not Patriots, wow. Buccaneers this, Buccaneers that, Tom Brady this, Tom Brady that, they all have one thing in common. They all have at least one loss in them. One. There's also all sorts of crazy stuff. So if, the Rams beat the Patriots, or I keep saying the Patriots, if the Rams beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, when Tom Brady is beaten in the postseason, that team in the divisional round has gone on to win the Super Bowl. Just saying. Again, to repeat earlier, 2010, last time that both 1 seeds went down in the second round of the playoffs. And that was also a time where Tom Brady lost to Mark Sanchez in the divisional round. And, so the last time this happened, Tom Brady lost in the divisional round. And now it's happened again, and Tom Brady is playing in the divisional round. So we're going to find out, man. We're going to find out. I will say, I don't know what it's doing right now. I'm sure Twitter is a madhouse. I still can't believe that ending, man. That's just crazy. I don't know where Rodgers is going. I dig that Grossi's on our side. Poor Grossi. Part of me, if the Rams beat the Packers, I was really hoping we were going to be able to team up again and have we'll be able to do it next year because the Rams will play the Packers because they have a first place schedule. But, we'll see. You're right about that. Oh, just so you guys know, we do. Yes, we do. We have a t-shirt design. We have a t-shirt design. And you can go over and you can go and acquire that. I'm going to drop the link below. Be my guest if you want to go and do that. But I am going to drop it below, and if you want, you can purchase it 15% off on the store. It is that design, the Big Four, Cooper Kupp, Jalen Ramsey, Matthew Stafford, and Aaron Donald. It is the one I mentioned before. I'm going to be doing a pregame. Yep, I'm going to. So, Kupp's got the blonde hair now. Blonde beard, blonde hair. Trevor, you're a terrible human, and you're not welcome in this. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I mean, you can like the Bucs, I guess. That's cool. Man, I don't know how anybody could be rooting for Tom Brady at this point. This dude is clearly the enemy in the movie. It's like literally rooting. Well, actually, I guess Thanos had a point. I don't know. There's don't get that confused with what you're thinking. I'm not saying Thanos killing half of humanity was a point. There's more to it. You got to watch Eternals to understand what I'm saying. But I am saying it is like rooting for, say, Bennett in Commando. Like lay off some steam, Bennett, right? It's rooting for Bennett over Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in Commando. It's like rooting for the Joker in The Dark Knight. Oh, damn, I can't do that because, people were rooting for the Joker, and the Joker's likable. Okay. It's like rooting for God. Who is not likable? Who sucks as a villain? Like, I'm trying to think about that. Who is Brady? Who is the villain? If Tom Brady was a villain in a movie, who would Tom Brady be? Goliath? I guess Luthor. All right. Tom Brady is Kilgrave in Jessica Jones. That doesn't even feel right. Tom Brady is Schoonover in Punisher. Oh, yeah. Tom Brady's Voldemort. Voldemort is probably the one villain that you couldn't even root for because he's just pure evil. Yeah, I agree with that. Magneto, the way the films, adapted to that, I wouldn't say. Well, Palpatine, very very not likable as Palpatine. I would say Brady, I would say Brady is Voldemort. You can't like Brady. Brady is the villain. Having him in another Super Bowl is like them rebooting Harry Potter, or not rebooting, but adding a sequel. And the sequel is Voldemort killing Harry Potter within the first 2 seconds of the film and saying, "Gotcha." That's what it's like having Tom Brady in another Super Bowl. Why would you want that? Like, why? Imagine that. You get a happy... I mean, that's basically what it was like. I mean, essentially it was like, when the Rams lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl in the 2019 2018 season, it was like watching Avengers Endgame and then having them replay it. And like when they go back in time, and then like Thanos back in time comes back to the future, comes to the present, it's like him winning. Like when he's like, "I am inevitable," and he snaps them again. That was like what, the Patriots beating the Rams. It didn't make any storybook sense. Yeah. Ronald, you definitely gained some points with me. It's like making another Fast and Furious. Those movies. Oof. They made way too many. Fast and Furious goes to the multiverse. I'm waiting for that to come out. Oh, man. Yep. Voldemort, Brady, same thing. Magneto is not bad. Magneto in the comics and Magneto in the X-Men animated series is not very good, right? He's not a good person. But Magneto, played by Michael Fassbender, you can see there's some kind of But yeah, Tom Brady, Voldemort, no one could change my mind. That's how it is. That's how it stays. But it's also like, him in a Super Bowl is like watching them put out another Fast and Furious movie, which they will. I mean, I'm still waiting, Fast and the Furious Infinity, which is the, we're talking about Fast and the Furious movies after the world has ended. So the Tom Brady story, humble beginnings. Oh, Lord. Like making a new... Oh, okay. I see what you're doing there, the real GOAT. I see you. I didn't mind the new Star Wars trilogy, but I get what you're saying. They'll be racing on the moon. That is amazing. That is hilarious. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, I think that's literally what it's coming down to now. Yeah, I try with the comparisons, man. I try with the analogies. We're trying. Man, I'm starting to wonder. I mean, we had almost 300 people in here, and it was midnight on the East Coast. So what could come of tomorrow? If the Rams beat the Bucs, man, I don't even know. Like, what happens? Like, the Rams go to the Super Bowl. Like, how is that? Like, I'm not going to think that far ahead, but you get my point. Recast Tom Brady with Giovanni Carmazzi. Appreciate it, Brett. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Definitely a different live stream, but it's a different flavor when I'm wearing the Freddy Krueger sweater, right? Come on. It's got to be. I have not watched the Book of Boba Fett. I have not. I would love to get over 1,000, man. Rams beat the Bucs and they get over 1,000. Let's go. I'd love it. Let's see here. Where are we at right now in views? That's actually a good question. Okay. Yeah, we're not bad. I mean, we had a lot of loyal viewers this time around. I mean, I'm not saying most people aren't loyal, but I am saying that when I notice that the viewership rating goes to 8:05 average watch time, that means the average person is watching at least 8 minutes. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Live streams technically never do that. They do... I mean, I've had ones that go over 12, but, the different type of live streams, like watch parties and things like that. But So this one is almost 2,000 views. Really do appreciate you guys being in here. I'm going to be ending this soon, so be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Shar Binks, thank you again so much for donating. Really do appreciate that. Rams versus Bucs spread starting to shift towards LA. Shifted 0.5 after Packers loss. Vegas wants the Niners versus Rams NFC Championship. That is something, man. You know, I always look at Vegas the way things kind of shift. It's always very, very interesting, you know? It really is. Sometimes Vegas tells a story. And yeah. Where is it? Let's see if I can find it. I wanted to see the shift because I wanted to see the shift of the Packers and Niners game. Vegas doesn't know everything, but Vegas does know a lot. So, and I'm sure you've heard somebody say, "Oh my God, I almost had the under. How do they get that close to the number?" Because they know, man. They know. 13-10, Niners win. Now, I want to check and see if they have. I don't think they have it. No, they don't. That's sad. Green Bay was 6-point favorites on Caesars. The Rams right now are 2.5, so you're right. It did shift. It went from 3.5 to now it's down to 2.5. It is shifting towards the Rams. That is very intriguing. I mean, we'll see with that injury report. That is going to say a lot. That is going to say a lot. Let's see. Okay, so Tampa. Brashad Perriman's out. Ronald Jones is out. Jason Pierre-Paul is questionable. Personal is questionable. Likely will be back. Cyril Grayson, although I've heard Cyril Grayson, if that's his name, I'm sorry to him that I've been, pronouncing it wrong. He has a hamstring listed as questionable. Sean Murphy Bunting listed as questionable. Ryan Jensen listed as questionable with an ankle. And Tristan Wirfs is a game-time decision with that ankle. So we will see with Tristan Wirfs. We will see with Ryan Jensen and Sean Murphy Bunting. We'll see with JPP. But, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry I yelled at you for over an hour, but I appreciate you guys letting me yell at you for over an hour. It has been an absolute blast and a pleasure, and I definitely really enjoyed it. So, you guys, be good people. I will see you guys tomorrow for the pregame. We'll do a postgame, and let's see if this thing hits over 1,000. That would be freaking awesome, but we'll find out. Rams success obviously helps the channel, just like, when you guys, word of mouth helps the channel. Give this thing a thumbs up if you like this before you head on out, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys. You guys stay safe, take care, and like I said, like I always say, be good people. I'll see you guys soon. Later.